Okay. Hello, Year 7. So that was the opening notes of Can't Keep Checking My Phone by the Unknown Mortal Orchestra. Very sage advice these days. Um, okay, so I'm going to introduce you to this week's question, and then I'll let you get on with a little bit of extra research around it. So, we're going to be writing a letter, and the title of the letter, the ambition of the letter, is to convince the Prime Minister that they should eradicate child poverty. So the word eradicate means just get rid of it completely, solve it. And your title will be No Child Should Live Below the Poverty Line. So we need to think about what poverty line means, because I know that some of you are probably nodding to yourselves and going, yes, of course, the poverty line, that's a famous marker in how we manage social equality and people's standards of life. A few of you are probably going, probably have heard of the word poverty, but not quite poverty line. So use the internet to conduct a little bit of additional research about children who live in poverty, the poverty line itself, and how poverty is addressed by the government. You can include pictures if you want, but you need to have a little bit of writing just explains what it is, how it might affect people's lives. So the poverty line is an actual thing. It's a term that we use to describe people who live below or above it, and it helps us to understand who is in most serious need. And then move on to the one about what it would be like for children, or what we can do about it, and then finally what the government can do to help alleviate this problem. For some of you, when you're thinking of the government, you might go, I don't really know what that is or who they are. Just think of this as these are the people who are in power that we've elected to help change everything in our country. Okay, so off you go, do task 1. And then on to task 2. I'm going to ask you to watch a few little sections of a documentary. It's a really powerful documentary, but I will say that if you are going to watch the rest of it, it is really quite emotionally powerful. It's very, very evocative, and it could be a little bit distressing because of the honesty and the closeness that they have to these people's lives. So stick to the sections that I've noted here. If you click on each of these links, it'll take you to the part of the video that you're supposed to watch. Make notes as you watch. Just a few sentences here and there of what you've seen. Why? Because this will be really helpful, these notes, when you come to write your letter. You can use this as an anecdote. An anecdote means something that has happened in the past. So you can use an anecdote, like a little story of something that you know about poverty, in your letter to make it more powerful. Okay, so watch that documentary, the 3 little clips, not very long, and make some notes on it. And now that you're back, you're probably wondering what city I would love to visit if it wasn't so environmentally damaging to fly. Well, I would love to go to Mexico City, in the country of Mexico. That was the code word, Mexico. So, task 3. Describe the life of Kara in a way that would make the Prime Minister... Goodness me, I've not even finished that sentence. Thank you for coming along whilst I type out the last details of your lesson. Sorry. Describe the life of Kara in a way that would make the Prime Minister feel moved to action. Write at least 5 sentences. So you're trying to depict the life of Kara as if he maybe doesn't know what it's like for Kara to live the life that she does. Try to use the absolutely most powerful language you can to evoke an emotional response. This is a first little chance at practicing some of the things we'll be doing in our letter. Here's the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. The reason why we're writing to him is that if he decides that something is really important, then he can start to effect change. He can start to instruct people within the government who can then change laws. They can start working and changing the way that funding is directed. Theoretically, that's the theory we're working on. Okay, so finish off that final task and then have a lovely day.